Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to kind of have a chat, kind of like the Siege video that I made on why I dislike the game and I feel like it's gone downhill and it sucks. But I wanted to talk about another Ubisoft title that I loved a lot, being Assassin's Creed. I have been playing Assassin's Creed since it came out on the Xbox 360. I was like 11 years old. It was a birthday gift. And I fell in love with the series because it was really cool and fun. And now that I've gone back to play some of the newer games, I've kind of noticed how much I disliked all the RPG elements and kind of just the story of the newer games. I mean, it feels super lackluster to play, and honestly I never thought I would be kind of sitting here, playing even Valhalla, because I knew that not a lot of people liked Valhalla. I knew that it wasn't a well-praised game and it wasn't, super loved by the community or whatever. You can look on Steam, you can look everywhere. There's not too many nice things to say about this game. But I decided that I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt because a month and a half ago, or even sometime before that, Ubisoft had hinted at them remaking Assassin's Creed Black Flag, another great game that I really like. And after seeing some of the footage of that and seeing that it's just going to be another RPG like this game, except for they just took something from the past that we all really liked and just kind of ruined, I felt that, maybe I should make this video to talk about why I thought Assassin's Creed Valhalla failed the way that it did. And a big key part of it not doing successful, or even if it did successful but not a lot of people liked it, was the fact that there's just too many elements to the game that kind of just don't make it fun. When I played this game, I kind of had this constant feeling of like the story is being dragged out really far and really long, and the gameplay loop is pretty much the same. You go to a settlement, you talk to a few people, they're like, hey, we're in beef with these guys, if you help us we'll join your clan for your own selfish reasons and we'll be your friend. And that's pretty much the same thing with every single settlement and storyline that you progress into that also ties into the main story. And that to me felt like it was boring as fuck because I just couldn't listen to the conversation that some of them were having. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I understand that this is Valhalla and they're supposed to talk like Vikings, but some of this fucking dialogue and the way they speak to each other is actually kind of fucking unbearable and not really fun to listen to. And to be honest, the only time I ever paid attention to it was when I physically had to click like an answer for one of the questions that the NPCs had asked me, and I wanted to get it right so that I could just progress the game and achieve the best ending that there could be, because there's multiple endings and different dialogues that lead to certain places and stuff. And like certain characters have I wouldn't say like a reputation, but like their feelings will change for you depending on how you respond to them and your actions in the game, which is a nice touch. But with the way that the story progresses itself and how it starts, it doesn't actually give it a real flow of the game that you can enjoy. Like when the story starts off, you lose your parents and the guy who kills your parents dies within like the first 10 minutes, and then the rest of the game is you trying to take over England because Sigurd's dad doesn't really want to keep being a Viking, this, that, and the third. Like it's a bunch of just politics. That's like the issue of this game. It's like if you don't care enough about the politics, then you won't care enough about the story. And for me, I just couldn't sit there and listen to all that because the game is just long, dude. Like after spending 50 hours myself playing this, the game just has too much content, and I never thought I'd say that. Like as a gamer, as someone who loves to play video games, I never thought that I would say a game has too much content. And it's not even just like it's purely side content. A lot of this is like just their own storylines branched off into main story missions that also connect. And I guess you could say that that's great and nice, but to me that just felt long and overplayed, and it felt like a chore to load up this game every day and kind of run through it, as well as like the RPG element of it. Like you don't actually need to go out and find new armor. They have these things that like collectibles like in the other games where you go, you find it, you get better stuff, you unlock things, and you don't need to get new armor. You can kind of just upgrade the armor that you've had since the beginning of the game and keep progressing the story forward, because your skill tree determines how much power you have and if you can even go into an area or not. So realistically, if you just grabbed all the collectibles and did all the supposed world events that they have, you'd have enough XP to just blow through the rest of the game without ever touching it again. And that's exactly what happened to me. I had so much XP that I ended up just blowing through majority of the game. And you think that since I progressed so fast I would finish the game, but I'm at a point now where as I'm creating this video and as I had the idea in my head thinking that I was gonna give this a great review and maybe give it the benefit of the doubt, I'm kind of sitting here like, wow, like this game is not fun, it's not great, it's just there. It's there as a placeholder for, they wanted to explore this timeline, they didn't do a good job of it, and then nobody really liked it. And to me it felt like a huge slap in the face, because it's like, this game series is so fun, but Ubisoft nowadays doesn't really understand what it means to make a game that's fun and well for everybody. It feels like they kind of just throw a bunch of slop together, and if you're a fan of their games, you just sit there and accept it, whether it's Siege, whether it's Assassin's Creed, and I can't even name, or even Far Cry. Actually, I'm lying, even Far Cry. After 4, Far Cry, the series as a whole just completely went downhill, and the games became just so unfun and just stupid, you know? And there's a lot of game companies that fall into that, you know, category of just like, they're producing slop and people buy it up every year because they're still trying to hold on to the nostalgia of the older games that they love so much. And to me, when I saw the new resynced gameplay and I saw that it was going to be an RPG again, I kind of just gave up hope on this company. Because when I think about the games that I used to play day in and day out for this company, whether it was Siege or Assassin's Creed when I was a child, or even as an adult, like when I was transitioning out of high school playing Assassin's Creed still, because I wanted to enjoy a few of the newer games, you know, like I had gone back and played Unity, and that's when, like, I believe some of the first RPG elements were introduced, and I didn't really like that. It feels to me that when enemies and animals and just even like regular stuff within the story and the gameplay loop has a health bar where I'm sitting here just whacking the shit out of them until, you know, eventually the shit peels over and just dies in front of me. I mean, I can't do that. To me, it just feels like I'm fucking throwing peas and hitting this nigga with pillows until he dies. And I understand that like games are evolving and they're meant to get better and that they're meant to be more fun. So when I was playing Valhalla, I had noticed that there's a lot of elements that are very similar to Ghost of Tsushima, but they just kind of did everything wrong in every way, because I guess they just weren't really understanding of what a fun and interesting gameplay loop is, as well as like keeping the story interesting. Like a lot of the times when you're playing as Eivor, she doesn't really have good dialogue options that give her a good input or make her even sound reasonable. She's either like fence sitting hard as shit, or she has this issue of like, she's just so fucking angry all the time. Whether you play her as a male or a female, it's just this angry ass Viking that is irrational as hell and doesn't really have any character depth to me. I mean, when I think about all the mainline characters from the other games, like Connor was this big teenage Native American brute that, you know, even though he didn't understand social cues, he was still a cool protagonist to follow along. Same with Edward Kenway, you know, he's a pirate and he fights his entire game, and you know, he's not even like really an assassin. Like he's technically an assassin at the end of his game, but he's not during his whole game, and it follows him becoming an assassin, his redemption from not wanting to be a pirate and moving forward, as well as like him trying to get, you know, his love back. And even like Hatham, like Hatham had more depth than Eivor and any other protagonist in the mainline game could have remotely had. And to me, that just kind of shows that the writing of modern day games is getting worse, as well as I just don't think Ubisoft cares. Like when I think that they come into the room and they pitch these ideas to each other, it's just like, how much shit can we throw on a whiteboard and put together and copy from other games and just do 100% wrong that maybe we'll just get a hit one day. Maybe the kids will just eat it up. It'll just be the slop. But to me, it just doesn't work that way. I can't sit here and play a bad game simply because it's this, like, it's one of my favorite series. And it sucks to think that like I even made this video with the intentions of hoping that the game would actually turn me around and that I would like it. But I genuinely couldn't bring myself to like it or enjoy the game. There's just too many elements that it copies from other games. Like the progression, I would say that like the progression is its own, honestly. Like the skill tree and the power level, I'd say like that's its own thing. I've never seen anything like that. But like the way that the gameplay plays and the loop of it and how you would play it, it plays so similar to Ghost of Tsushima that if I had to genuinely tell you to pick between both of the games, I would just tell you play Ghost of Tsushima, because you'd have a way more fun time with it. Because not only does the gameplay feel a lot smoother with that, the story is a lot better, as well as the visuals. I caught myself playing this game on very high settings and kind of just realizing that it has okay visuals. Like it's supposed to be a AAA game, but it's not exactly amazing in the way that it looks. Like I wasn't taken aback by how beautiful the views are. And there's a lot of like, you know, Easter eggs within the game where it's like once you get past a certain point and you've discovered a lot of the map, like it'll be like players that leave screenshots of stuff that they found beautiful in the game, and I would kind of look at them and be like, okay, well that's kind of cool, but it doesn't compare to like the fact that there's so many other games that just genuinely do it 10 times better. And it sucks because Ubisoft is one of those companies where I always try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I always try to at least see if they could do good, and they just kind of disappoint me like a dad. Like, I'm just disappointed. It's like a dad leaving for milk and then coming back with some bullshit. Like, I didn't want this. You just came back with something even more worse than before. But other than that, I would say that the game is just okay. Like, if you like it, then you like it. But me personally, I cannot continue to play this game anymore because I have gotten to the point where I've dumped so many hours into it, and it feels like the world's biggest snooze fest, and it feels like a chore to even complete. And I don't know about you guys, but if a game feels like it's a chore to complete, then you should not be playing that game. That's pretty much my thoughts. I don't have much that I would really like to say, besides that I really hope that if they're going to remake Black Flag, that they actually listen to the fans and take out the RPG elements and just kind of make the game, I wouldn't say just revamp all the visuals, I would say fix a lot of the big issues of it, but just stop giving enemies health bars and sponges that I gotta smack around. And you know, like, cause that just doesn't make sense. Like, it's not like I'm smacking around a fucking demon that, you know, could probably regenerate and is made out of otherworldly things, like this is God of War or anything like that. I'm smacking around a normal dude, and majority of them aren't even really in armor. They just have like these little ass kilts and the stupid fucking helmet that they wear, you know? And I just, to me, I cannot sit here and play a game that I'm just simply not enjoying, no matter how hard I wanted to make a video saying that the game could be good had they just changed X, Y, and Z. There's too much to change. They gotta get rid of this skill tree. They have to revitalize the story and make it actually interesting to want to listen to, as well as like just make Eivor a more interesting character. Like, they have a lot of options in the game where like you can romance people, and I think that's kind of fun and new. But other than that, like, the game itself is just not great. It's not a great game. But I do want to say thank you for watching. I love you all, and in the future of the channel I will be having other games, and I also will want to do more style videos like this where I kind of just critique and talk about things that I think aren't that great, whether it's in the gaming industry or just things on the internet in general. Any media literacy that, you know, a lot of people like, that I also like, I do want to come on here and share my opinion more, because I feel like it's a lot more fun. It gives me a chance to connect and talk about why I think certain games aren't as great as they seem to be. And if you have any disagreements, feel free to comment. I have no problem with anybody criticizing my takes on video games, and if they don't agree, they don't agree. I welcome that wholeheartedly, and I want you to disagree with me, because let's have a debate on why you think the game is good and why I think the game is bad. I'm more than welcome to that. Feel free to leave a comment, like and subscribe, and I will say again, I do love you all. Have a great day, and peace, guys.